We have some great glory stories from this week in the parish. It was a great week. A lot was going on. Not only a great vacation Bible school, 100 children, 40 volunteer youth and adults. Just great energy, a great week. But then you and all the donors, we had 161 donors help give over $65,000 for Erie Gives for Our Lady of Peace Parish on Tuesday, and we praise God for that. And what was the other? Big OLP serves yesterday. We had over 30 volunteers, parishioners, helping with projects at about 14 of our parishioner houses. And so we praise God for all of that. We thank God for the way the Spirit's moving in our parish. So when I mentioned we went to the Sights and Sounds this past June and saw the Noah movie that, it was the 30th, not movie, but production. That was the 30th anniversary of when they did it the first time in Lancaster at Sights and Sounds, and that's kind of what put them on the radar. And I meant to play the song for the group, and I don't think I ever got to it because I kept thinking about a song that I had heard in the 1990s. It actually was by a Christian band, but it made it on the top 40 radio. A few different songs at that time made their way there from Christian bands. And it was called, and it kind of felt appropriate for this morning, Flood, okay? It's called Flood, and there's the first verse or whatever, it goes something like this. Rain, rain on my face. It hasn't stopped raining for days. My world is a flood. Maybe I'll become one with the mud, and I won't go on. But it made me think of the first reading today as well, right? Jeremiah, he's literally sinking in the mud in this cistern. And so it's interesting to say, okay, the connection between that and the gospel that we heard today, because remember, that's always part of the church. Usually the first reading and the gospel are very intentionally paired in our Sunday Mass readings. And part of, I think, the insight, this idea, is we feel like we're becoming one with the mud. And sometimes that can almost be what we hear people say we need more of in the sense of our world, right? When it comes to the unity that we want, right? Why can't we just all be one? Why can't we just get along, right? And certainly we know that Jesus desires us to be one. That was his prayer for us at the Last Supper. But we also know he said other words like he said in the gospel today, which, again, we have to just take that one line and you say, oh my goodness, Jesus just came to bring division, and difficulty, right? But the reality is he's saying that because we can't just become one with the mud. We can't just become one with the world because it's not all of God. And we have to realize that separation is required on some level. And again, it's not intentional. We want to be separate from everybody and let's divide and not be one. It's not that we don't desire to be one and try to become one, but it can't become a oneness that's in the world and of the world. It's a oneness in Jesus Christ, who is the source of everything. A oneness with our God. And to be one with God in Jesus Christ is not to be one with the world. And we have to decide if we're okay with that. And many of us, myself included, we try to do both. And it's not possible. Sifting is required. And so the refrain of that song from the jars, did we say it was Jars of Clay? Did we talk about the group that made that song was Jars of Clay. But the refrain of that song was lift me up. Lift me up. When I am higher, lift me up. And it keeps saying, lift me up, lift me up. But the idea is Jesus kind of saying, I hear him saying in the gospel, yeah, I want to lift you up. I will lift you up. I do lift you up. But that has to mean there's going to be some division that's created there. You're going to have to be divided from the mud. I'm not going to just lift you and the mud up together, right? You have to be separated from that. And that means you have to be purified of that. You have to be willing to let go of that. You have to be willing to be divided in a sense from that which is not of me. And so often we try to cling to that or bring that with us. And sometimes that's even our own, close relationships with us, families. That can be part of that division, that purifying, that sifting, is it might require separation from some of that if the family or whatever that is, those relationships, those friendships have truly just become so ingrained and embedded in the world. And again, this sifting and separation and division, the ultimate, process of that is purgatory, right? To the degree that we haven't allowed that separation and that kind of, that sifting to occur here on earth, it has to happen after we leave earth, right? Or as we leave, however you want to say that. So the separation has to occur between that which is not of God and that which is in us. And the goal we have is to say, Lord, help the fire of your Spirit, which you did bring to the earth, sift me, separate me, purify me, purge me of those things that aren't of you, and help me be willing to let them go and not cling to them, especially if there are the vices or, relationship or whatever it is that's not of you in my life. And help us to be strong in being okay with, yes, desiring unity in all of the human family, but not a oneness that requires us to be separate from you, Lord, or to be less of you. Help our oneness be in you, and if that creates some separation and division and things in my life that need to be divided from me, I give you permission. I desire for that to be taken. Lift me up. Help me not to be one with the mud. Separate me from all that's not of you so that I can live in you and love you, not only here, but forever.